Welcome. My name's Kathy A, and today I would talk about a palette that surprised me, and it surprised me in a good way. Now, I recently just tested out and reviewed the Tati Beauty palette, of which I had kind of mixed feelings. And this is a palette that costs $50. This is a palette from LA Girl that costs $20. And the packaging is just stunningly beautiful to begin with. If you could see close up. It's like an alligator grain, fake alligator grain palette, and it has all of these colors. I believe there's 35 colors in this palette, and I loved the variety. There's mattes, there's shimmers, and it's just, there's a couple of pressed glitters in here, but it's just so wonderful, a wonderful assortment. I have been playing with this now for almost 2 weeks, and I've not had a bad eye look from it. There's not a single dud in the crowd here. This is the best bargain right now in the drugstore, and this may very well be my palette of the year when I do my year-end reviews. This is LA Girl, which is a very discounted line. They are hit and miss. Some of their eyeshadow palettes suck. But I'm always honest with you, and I always like to give something like this a chance because the color story in here is so diverse. I mean, you've got your blues, your greens, your purples, pinks, oranges, your neutral browns. The only color area that is not covered well in here is the grays. The grays are the only ones. But I think aside from that, this has some marvelous colors. I'm just going to do a quick eye look for you using some of the colors in this palette, and you can see how I got to this eye look. Be right back with you. Alrighty then, let's begin. Here I am, starting off with my lid shade, which is called Humble, and I'm just putting that all over. And it's fairly pigmented. It cancels out a lot of discoloration and it brightens up your lid in general. I think it makes a great palette base for the rest of the eyeshadow colors. And I'm just putting that all over my lid from lid to brow. Switching over now, I am going to a crease shade, which is Posh. And I'm just putting a little on both eyes, and then I'm going to smush it around a little bit better and shear it out a little bit better. So using my Real Techniques crease brush, which I really like. So I'm just kind of smushing it around to shear out the edges on it. And these do blend really nicely, actually. I'm very impressed. Now I'm going into Poise, which is a slightly darker shade. I'm going into the corners with that. And again, I'm starting off by placing the color there, and then I'm going back and forth with kind of smushing it around. And you can find your own comfort level here with smushing things around. I do sometimes use my finger as well. Going into the corner 10 and 2 shade, as I call it, it's just the outside upper area, and then I use my finger to just kind of swish it in, blend in with the other colors. It adds a little warm transition there. Now I'm doing this off the cuff, so I'm just kind of grabbing whatever colors hit me at the time. This is Trendy, which is a pale light goldish silvery shimmer, putting on the inner corners and also at the highlight of the brow. Now I'm going in with my middle finger into the black shade, which is called Vogue, and I'm just going into the very corner and pressing that in and mushing it around a little bit so it blends in, makes it a little bit darker. Now I'm taking my little tiny brush and going into that fairly nice, pretty metallic green shade called Vivacious, and using my finger to kind of smear it in. But I'm just going about halfway around my lower lash line with that. Now I'm going to go into a darker green. It's called Extra, and I'm doing the upper line. I like to line with shadow rather than using liners or liquids. I think it makes a softer look, and it also blends nicely with the other shadows. Again, I'm completely off the cuff here. I'm just kind of grabbing colors that I kind of like. Using my finger to blend it a little bit. Now we're going back into Vivacious, and I'm going to line the first half of the underside with it. Those are the same ones I used for the inner corners. Now I'm kind of going a little bit crazy here. Look like a magic marker. This is an Australian company called Crop, and this is their eyebrow pencil in the shade Blonde. I think I picked this up in a TJ Maxx. Going into the Fiber Lash Mascara from LA Girl. This is their newest mascara, and I absolutely love it. Gives you big old honkin' lashes. So you'll see the difference. All right, here we go. I'm not real keen on the wand itself, but I do like the formulation, and you'll see it instantly gives my lashes a huge, huge look. It's very good. It's not too sloppy. The wand is a little bit plasticky, comb-like, but it's really good for separation. And I'm off camera now. I'm sorry about that. But you'll see that it starts to build up, and I would say 2 coats makes a really good big hunkin' lash. Nice, long, lengthy. I'm going to do the other side now, and you can see it makes a really pretty lash. I'm not using false lashes on purpose because I did want to demonstrate the mascara. I have a piece of hair that keeps sticking into my eye. So you see that the eye look, when you do shadow, does not come together until you do the mascara. And I think that's when it really kind of pulls the whole look together, and you can see how pretty it is. I really like it a lot. So I think I'm going to come up close. I'm putting on my Smashbox Liquid Lip in Rust Font, and I'm going to come up close so you can see the whole look. And see how pretty that is? And it all blends well, and it's cheapy old LA Girl. So I think the main thing is I haven't tried every single color yet in this palette because it's a little overwhelming. There are a lot of colors here. But I did try, some of these colors are just so outstanding. This is my favorite shade right here. That's this one here, and it's called Fun. Fun. The names are really nice. They're tasteful. There's none of that NARS stuff going on, if you know what I mean. And it's a very, very nice palette. If I were to make any improvements, I would say a cool tone transition shade and something in the grays. There's so many of these golden kind of light metallics, I probably would have swapped one of these out for a gray. And you know, some of them are just so similar. But you do have your basic light shade for your lid. You do have kind of a transition shade with this one and this one. You have, you know, this black kind of deepens up things. You have this dark kind of aubergine eggplant color that you can use. It's really nice. I think that it's a great assortment to play with. And you've got these bright little colors you can tap in a little bit, you know, to brighten up the edges. I call it the 10 and 2, where you can just put a little bit on the corners and it makes a kind of a warm little tone without being too overpowering to the eye look. I think it's just a wonderful palette. I totally recommend this. And if you happen to see it, I think it is a limited edition for the holidays. It's up on its own. It's not in with the LA Girl stuff in general. It's up in a special little display. I saw mine above the eye creams and the face creams. So look for this display in your CVS. It's $19.99. And God bless them. LA Girl, they did a good job with this. I like some of their lip products. I like some of their eye products, but they're hit or miss. The formulation in these are top-notch. Really, really a great surprise. And I hope you will take my advice on this one. Out of all the palettes that have come out this year, this one seems to have impressed me the most. So I hope all of you are having a wonderful week and have a beautiful day. Take care. Toodles.